won against, I don't know, the who else is terrible? The Pacers.
Pacers, yeah.
Yeah,
Pistons and
OKC,
Pacers.
since they're probably tanking anyway.
Yeah, yeah. Maybe like 5 teams. That's it.
Yeah, yeah. If we could will it down to 4 or 5 teams, and also if we could play Akron State, they have a college basketball team. If we can make them an NBA pro team, just for the Knicks to get the games against them, it'd be helpful. But my big thing from tonight, my biggest takeaway is I don't know if you've noticed this, Jay,
Hmm.
but the Knicks play a lot better when Tibbs has facial hair.
Hmm. It's remember about 10 years ago, I had my beard power theory, and I
Cut
said
out this share it. It's been a while, Jay.
it's been a long time, but I was saying players that have good beards play better, and not stupid beards like Harden, but like a
It
nice
seemed to
a nice
it seemed
beard.
to work for Harden, but go on.
Yeah, I mean not in the playoffs, but yeah. If you notice, like players that don't have a beard and then they grow a good beard, they play a lot better.
LeBron looked pretty good with a beard. Who else looked pretty good with a beard? And I
Valen-
mean good playing on the court, not like I'm into him. Just letting you know.
Valanciunas, he got a lot better after he grew a beard.
Okay.
It's been kicking ass lately.
And anyone got worse?
No, no.
Ah, it's 100% of the time. So Tibbs, keep the stubble, keep it. He's got to keep the stubble. He looks so much better.
Hmm.
I'm into him. Not in a basketball way, like in a sexual way.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, and quick notes of the game tonight. Everyone looked awesome. Brunson, I feel like maybe we weren't quite like we said he was going to be good. Jay, you were saying we were saying this before off the air. He might be an all-star.
He might be. He might be. He's leading the offense. He's got a lot of options to pass to. He can shoot the ball. I mean, this could be a breakout year.
He's obviously efficient. He was efficient before. I love his moves. Like he just kind of he just gets himself open. He sets guys up. Other notes. I mean, there's so many guys look good today. Hart, who has stolen my heart already, walked into 2 3 pointers, and I'm like, wow, this is a different look from a center that could shoot from the outside.
Yeah, stretch five is nice. McBride looked awesome on defense.
Yeah, the whole Knicks team looked awesome on defense. Randall played good defense. Everyone played good, and it may be just the effect of playing the Pistons. But I made a joke about the Knicks playing 82. Knicks should play the Pistons 82 times this year. And some Detroit Pistons account I've never seen before was like, "Hey, what are you talking about?"
That's funny.
But yeah, the whole team like IQ look. I liked what I saw from IQ. He was
Hmm.
like driving to the paint, attacking the rim. Um, everyone looked pretty good out there. Randall was running the floor. Obi was running the floor as he normally does.
Hmm.
Had some dunks. Anything else worth noting from the game?
I don't want to get too excited over a preseason game, but they looked like it was like the team is gelled. They look like they have chemistry already, which is really nice.
I think we're supposed to completely and totally overreact. I think that's the way it's supposed to be. I was conversing with someone on Reddit who made a good point that how most he made the point that the Knicks should play. They should try not to have anyone play like they have a lot of guys that can play, it's a lot of depth. How about playing everyone under 30 minutes? Maybe have one guy over 30 minutes. Maybe Jalen Brunson's like at 31 or 32 minutes and everyone else below. And I was like, yeah, no NBA team operates with like one guy over 30 minutes and the rest of the roster below 30. That's a ridiculous concept. And he came back with actually the Memphis Grizzlies, if you take a look, the only guy over 30 minutes was Ja, who was at like 32, and the rest of the team was below 30. And I was like, oh, that team that shocked everyone by playing so well last year and had a ton of depth. Maybe that's a good idea.
Interesting. I mean,
Yeah.
I did. I mean, not that this is real life, but in 2K when I'm GM, I cut everybody's minutes down to like 33, 34 max, and it like almost eliminated injuries for like if you up it like 3 or 4 more minutes, like you get injuries all season, and if you lower it, like nobody gets hurt.
Okay.
That's
So 2K is reality. We'll eliminate injuries by cutting everyone's minutes by 3 minutes.
it does have some parallels to reality. Anthony Davis played for the first time, and he played himself and got injured on the very first play of the game.
Oh, there you go. I mean, one thing I was thinking that like, first of all, Randall, whatever you say about him, like, there's always like 7 or 8 minutes of him just kind of like being tired on the court, and it shows.
Hmm.
Maybe if you played 28 minutes of Randall, you'd get the best of Randall. And maybe for the whole roster, like we're always bottom five in pace. Maybe this team would look a lot better if kids was just like, hey, run, give full effort. Everyone's going to play a little bit less minutes, but we're all going to play. And we'll just like, it's all about team basketball. You'll play 28 minutes, but you'll like give your all for those 28 minutes.
I mean, they're deep enough. They have like 13 guys that could realistically get minutes.
Yeah, I mean, well, the issue we have is like there's very few guys that really stand out. Obviously, Brunson stands out. You can argue. Some people argue Randall stands out, but you can argue RJ Barrett should get more minutes. But generally speaking, depth is one of our biggest strengths. So why not use it?
Yeah.
Okay, so we wanted to tell you why every other team in the NBA sucks balls. We're gonna go through every team and tell you why this team sucks. This is our season preview by telling you why the Knicks are going to win the title because everyone else is horrible. What team you want to start with, Jay?
Just go in order. Go in order. Go by standings last year.
I don't care. Just start.
Okay.
Just you. Jay's gonna tell us the transactions. The major transactions the team had made. I'm gonna tell you how many wins are projected based on Vegas Insider, and then we're gonna tell you why the team is gonna be well under that number and gonna be horrible this season.
All right. We'll go with the Hawks. They added Murray and they lost Gallinari, Herter. That's about it.
Okay. So the Hawks are going to suck because, like every year, Mr. Floppy is their best player who can't play a lick of defense. They've spent half the offseason trying to trade what's his name?
Collins.
Yeah. They tried to trade Collins. I know they made a huge move. You know, anytime the San Antonio Spurs want to get rid of a guy, Kawhi Leonard wanted to leave, but anytime they want to get rid of a guy, especially a young, like up and coming point guard, like I would be skeptical. Maybe the Spurs know that DeJounte Murray actually sucks.
Maybe, or maybe he's just overrated.
Jay, you got to be more negative. It's about being negative, this bitch, Jay.
They lost a ton of depth too. I mean, Dan Gallinari, Harkless, Herter, the almighty Kevin Knox, all gone. Replacing with
they
one
don't
guy.
have a ton of depth.
No, no,
and they're counting on guys like Okongwu, who hasn't done that much. Maybe he'll be good. Clint Capella had a bad year. Herter was a pretty good player. I don't know.
Long story short, they peaked 2 years ago.
They peaked 2 years ago. They're done. Let's move on, Jay.
Boston Celtics. They have added Gallinari and Brogdon, and they lost
a coach.
They lost a coach. They lost Tice.
I saw the best thing. It was actually on TikTok. It was someone. It was the coach of the coach, and they were like, "This is the Celtics coach," and it was a scene from Seinfeld where George Costanza's like, "I didn't know we couldn't do that in the office. If someone had just told me, I wouldn't have done that. I just didn't know. I worked in other offices where this was allowed. I didn't know this wasn't allowed." Which I thought really. Anyway, you lost your coach.
Mm-hmm.
Great coach who's awesome last year. Apparently, not an awesome employee, but an awesome coach, and that is going to hurt a lot.
It is. Also, their center's injured again.
Robert Williams injured every year, rarely healthy. He was the key in them having won the best defense in the NBA. So they're missing him. They brought on Gallo. Guess what? Gallo's injured. They got Malcolm Brogdon. Guess what? Brogdon will be injured. They got Derek White. Guess what? White kind of sucks. I'm wonderful. They have Tatum. They have Brown. You know what they're going to have? They're going to have one less of those guys. They realize they have to trade one of them, probably Brown, to get better.
I mean,
and
Smart's always injured too. They got lucky last year that he was healthy for a whole playoff run.
By the way, how excited is Brown to be on this team when he's like, "Oh, you wanted to trade me for Kevin Durant? I'm so excited to be here. Thank you."
yeah. Chemistry might be an issue for them.
Right, and also I understood it worked. You had Marcus Smart playing point guard for a little while, and it was working. I'm going to say it's not going to work long term there. Anyway, the Celtics, they had a great run. Way to be lucky last year. You're going to suck this season. And I haven't pointed out. So Celtics were projected to win 53 games. They're going under. And the Hawks were projected to win um, the 45 games, and they're going way under. Okay, go on. Next, Jay.
The Brooklyn Nets, they added Markieff Morris, TJ Warren, Royce O'Neal. They lost Bruce Brown, Dragic, Drummond, Blake Griffin, LaMarcus Aldridge, and James Johnson.
Anytime that your best offseason acquisition is getting your best player to agree to play for your team, not a great look for team chemistry. By the way, Celtics, the Nets are projected to win 50 games. They're going way under. What else, Jay? So basically, had the star player had to be talked into staying on the team. The next best player thinks the Earth's flat, and the next best player was scared to play basketball last year.
Yeah, and they're going for an interesting lineup with no center this year.
Yes, Simmons played actually last night. Last night or the night before in a preseason game, so he's back on the court.
Okay, I mean, glad he's back for games that don't matter.
Yeah, he said he's ready to sit. He's ready to be on the bench and not playing when the season starts.
Super excited for that.
Yeah. Anyway, Bruce Brown also an underrated loss. He was kind of awesome for them as a bench piece. They have no depth. What do they have? What do they have in terms of depth?
Well, they have T.J. Warren, who is always injured.
Yeah, if he ever gets healthy. I mean, T.J. Warren's awesome when he played basketball 2 years ago.
Markieff Morris, who is old now.
And Markieff Morris is awesome to get your team a technical foul or a flagrant foul, whichever you choose.
Yeah, that's about it.
Joe Harris is back. I don't know. Kyrie Irving's going to burn this. Kyrie Irving's going to burn this to the ground. There's going to be no team chemistry. They'll win a bunch of games. They'll have an okay. I mean, they're going to make the playoffs. They're also going to lose in the first round. They've already peaked. The Nets are done. If Kevin Durant had moved his foot off the line, they would have. That was their moment. That was it. You peaked basically when Kevin Durant stood in the line when he shot that three. It's over.
All right, Charlotte Hornets. They added nobody, and they lost Bridges and Harrell.
But at least they have an aging Gordon Hayward.
Well, look,
that is awesome. That is awesome. So you lost your best player for domestic violence. Was that what it was?
Yeah. Well, let's say second best player. You could say Ball is the best player.
Okay, whatever. You lost one of your best player who, but basically the guy you were like, oh, this guy's awesome. Here's $150 million or whatever you were about to give him. Turns out he's a giant asshole. So way to go building your team around really good, solid guys. LaMelo's good, but there's not much of a roster around him.
Yeah,
team's going to be real bad.
Yeah, they stunk last year. They're going to stink even more this year.
Yeah, Gordon Hayward's going to be injured half the season, and it's just going to be worse. What else do they have in this team?
Nothing. They don't really have anything.
It's a really, really weak roster.
P.J. Washington is like their third best player now.
36 wins is projected, which is lower than what the Knicks are projected for at 38 wins, even though the Knicks are going to win 82. Charlotte's going to suck.
Yeah,
LaMelo's only hope is the team gets the number one draft pick. Like LaMelo should be like, hey guys, I'll sit out. Let's just tank because that's our only prayer.
Yep. Okay. Chicago Bulls. They added Drummond and Dragic, and they lost Tristan Thompson. Not much. Troy Brown Jr. It looks like Ball is gonna miss the whole season though. So
at least most of the season. So that's kind of a big loss.
They looked like garbage without Ball. So,
I have to say, I had wanted the Knicks to sign Ball. The Knicks front office said, no, we don't need a guy like Ball. Turns out the Knicks front office was right because he played for a half hour and now he's done. Is there any? So there's also a whole thing about regression. Guys play really well. Sometimes they come back down to the mean. Do we think DeMar DeRozan's going to regress at age 35 or whatever, how old he is?
I think he's 33 right now, but him and Vucevic are on the wrong side of 30. I feel like all their guys are on the decline except maybe Zach LaVine, who gets injured a lot.
I think and I didn't double check this, but I think the Magic have the top 4 protected pick from the Bulls for this year from the Vucevic trade, and they must be salivating because they're like, the Bulls are like they've already peaked. They're gonna be a bad team this year.
They're gonna
They
be
must be
bad,
so
but not
excited.
bad enough for a top four, so it's perfect. Yeah,
Right. They're gonna be like get like a 10th pick, like
yeah,
out of just a free 10th pick. And Vucevic, you traded two firsts to get Vucevic. That was just not that smart.
yeah. I mean, he's been really good for a long time, but uh, long time is the key part of that.
Also, even if he's like he puts up good numbers, he hasn't really made the Bulls better.
Yeah, I mean,
They haven't been that great with him on the court.
no, they haven't.
His defense is mediocre.
It is. It is. It's mediocre. I think honestly, if Ball doesn't come back, they're gonna stink.
I mean, they have Zach LaVine. Zach LaVine's a very, very good basketball player. The half the season that he'll be healthy for will be great for you guys. So
Yeah.
that half the season, just hopefully the half the season will correspond with the postseason. Well, it won't matter. You guys won't make it anyway. So,
Speaking of teams who played good for half a season, the
oh, by the
Cleveland
way, Bulls were 41 wins. In case anyone's curious, over under. Okay, next.
Cleveland Cavaliers.
Ooh, Cleveland Cavaliers got Donovan Mitchell. I'm so scared. I love how like everyone's like, wow, Donovan Mitchell. Oh my God, the Cavs got him. Then everyone's like, okay, Cavs are probably an eighth seed or a ninth seed. It's worth trading like all your draft picks to get a guy that moves you from the ninth seed to the eighth seed.
Right. So they also added Robin Lopez and Ricky Rubio, and they lost Markkinen, Sexton, Rondo, Ed Davis.
Hey, Darius Garland. You know, in terms of in NBA terms, you're really not that tall. What if we compare you with another guy who's not that tall? How's the defense going to work out?
Yeah, they're gonna have a small backcourt, and it's not gonna work out.
Also, is it going to be? I get Donovan Mitchell's a great player and blah blah blah. But you're going to regret making this trade.
Yeah.
Also, come on, Cavaliers. Like you're only going to be good when LeBron's there. LeBron's never coming back. Your team's going to suck.
Oh, what's their
Jay, I
over-under?
need more negativity, Jay, from you. I need
Okay.
more negativity. You're not being negative enough.
Okay. What is
Also,
their?
Cavaliers relied on Kevin Love as an integral member of the bench. He was a big contributor last year. Does anyone think Kevin Love will be healthy, or even be a good teammate this year?
It would be absolutely shocking if he does anything on the court.
I mean, he'll do a little bit, but he'll be injured half the year. I know most of our negativity is like, this guy's gonna be injured, this guy's gonna be injured. Kevin Love was just like pouting for 3 years in Cleveland. The smartest thing that Cleveland can do is go, hey, other team, look how good Kevin Love is. His contract doesn't look so bad now. Give us anything for him.
Is he still? He's still making like crazy money though, right?
Not insane. I think in the NBA, I think I haven't looked, but I think it's like 25 million. It doesn't look as bad over as the years pass because other contracts go up. But they should have tried to move him.
Yeah.
I mean, like he's just not going to give you. You're not getting value for him, and he's also a ticking time bomb.
What's their over under?
Do you remember watching Kevin Love when the Cleveland was bad, and he was just like sulking on the court,
Oh, it was the
visibly
best.
sulking,
It was
and you're
absolutely
like,
the best.
it was insane.
I would love to see
What's
more of that.
Cleveland's over under? So they moved heaven and they moved like mountains to get Donovan Mitchell. Their over under is 47 wins.
Okay.
That doesn't seem that amazing.
I mean, yeah, that's their roster now. They're pretty much capped out, and they have no draft picks. So have fun.
Yeah, good luck.
Uh,
Who's next?
The Mavericks, they added JaVale McGee and Christian Wood, which is their starting backcourt. Their starting
I
front
thought
court.
I think Christian Wood is you mean their front court?
Yeah, their front court.
I think Christian Wood supposedly might coming off the bench. There was a thing about a rumor that how he was they wanted him to come off the bench, and he was like, I didn't think I was coming off the bench.
So obviously they
Because
lost Brunson, Trey Burke. They're not the Knicks West Coast anymore. They lost Marquise Chris and Boban.
no, they still have Timmy Hardaway, and they still have Frank Ntilikina,
They do.
and they
They
still
just
have Reggie Book. They have they have a lot of Knicks.
they can't make an all Knicks lineup now though.
I'm sure they can get Theo Pinson out there also. Anytime you can downgrade from Jalen Brunson to Timmy Hardaway, not a good look for going forward.
Well, who's there? It's going to be Dinwiddie. that's going to be their backcourt now.
Timmy's starting probably. Yeah, I guess Dinwiddie's also was really inconsistent for them like last year.
So
I wouldn't be too.
they're starting McGee.
Are they? They're starting JaVale McGee?
Yes. So like a team with championship aspirations is starting McGee. That is why
No,
he
they're
goes there.
not.
Yes,
They're
they
not going
are.
to start JaVale McGee.
Who else are they going to start?
I mean, it's like Doncic has been like he's like, what did I do in my past life to be on this team?
They don't have another center. It's him or
It's
Wood.
how are you handed a NBA like a talent like a Doncic and you surround him with this garbage? And you also went to the conference finals last year and you took his best player and said sayonara when the Knicks stole him from you.
It's amazing how they've just completely like fumbled this roster.
I am unless the Frank truthers turn out to be right and Ntilikina is unbelievable. I'm pretty sure the Mavericks are going to have a very disappointing season, and Luka is going to say like, I don't know why I got into shape for this. Screw it.
All right, Denver Nuggets. They added Bruce Brown, DeAndre Jordan, Caldwell Pope, and they lost Barton, Monte Morris, Austin Rivers.
Okay, none of that stuff matters. The Mavericks, by the way, Mavericks are 48 wins, and the Nuggets are 49 wins for the over/under. The Nuggets' biggest move is getting they're one of their best players back.
They're second and third best players back.
Oh, is what's his name healthy?
Porter. I mean,
Porter's healthy.
They don't seem to know. He might be. He might not be.
But I mean, it's pretty darn huge getting Murray back. You got Jokic. So I'm going to say Denver is going to look pretty good in the regular season, but they always suck in the playoffs, and it's going to happen again.
Well, they have no depth at all. Like they're banking on like Caldwell Pope being awesome.
Everyone should try to build their teams around the way the Knicks do. The Knicks build a lot of depth. Everyone should kind of realize you need depth.
You do need depth, and they don't have any. So they're one injury away from disaster.
They got Bones Highland, who is basically IQ light. If you watch him play and just see him, he looks like he's like basically another version of IQ.
Yep.
A not as good version of IQ. Porter is not a good defender when healthy. I imagine his back injury is not going to help him be a good defender when he comes back. Jokic might be MVP again, but the team's going to suck.
Yep. So Pistons are trying to be the island of Knicks lost toys. They got Knox, Burks, Noel, Kemba, and they lost Olynyk, Jeremy Grant. It seems like they lost more talent than they got.
They did draft Ivy. That was a pretty good addition.
It was a pretty good addition, but
they also got Jalen Duran at center.
Well, we just saw them lose by 30 to the Knicks, so
you're right. They're garbage. That is true. They have an interesting team in the sense of they do have the number one draft pick from last year. It depends how much you. I mean, they have some really interesting young players.
Yeah, interesting, not good.
Who
needs to ramp up the
I like
negativity
Sadiq
now,
Bey. Cade Cunningham is like an interesting player. By the way, Kevin Knox, do you know he once won NBA Rookie of the Month?
It seems almost like is this an even true fact at this point?
It seems like a lifetime. It's amazing how many Knicks have won NBA Rookie of the Month, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Detroit's over-under is 29 wins. I don't think they'll get halfway there.
All right. So the Warriors, they added DiVincenzo and JaMychal Green. They lost Bjelica, Damian Lee, Gary Payton Jr., Otto Porter Jr., and Toscano Anderson. So their whole bench, pretty much.
Yeah, they lost a ton of. By the way, over/under 51 wins. They did. Did they have a good year last year? I can't remember.
They were pretty good last year, but they lost all their depth, like all of it.
I mean, in fairness, they have Kuminga. In theory, Wiseman played the other night. He's going to play this year. But why they are going to suck? Draymond Green's getting older. Steph Curry can't hit threes forever. This is the year it all goes downhill.
There you go. The Rockets.
The Rockets red glare.
They added, I don't know, Trey Burke, Marquise Chris, Harkless, Boban. Not much. And
They did draft someone pretty good, right? They got Terry Eason, who Jay loves.
I guess they got.
Are you you're not gonna comment on that? You do actually love him.
I'm trying not to have a overreact to the preseason game, but I was saying the Knicks should draft Terry Eason, and he looked so good yesterday. What do you have, like 23 points or something?
It's preseason. Let's not overreact. Let's to the Knicks. But they also drafted Ty Ty,
Mm-hmm.
who the guy who was almost a point guard in the draft. They got a lot of young players. Still got Jabari Smith. They are going to be completely lost this year, but they have a future. They're basically in the tank lottery, right?
Yeah, yeah,
They're going for Wembanyama, whatever his name is. All in.
They're going to be like bottom 5 in the West.
They are going to be awful. And if they start winning games, the coach is going to order them to stop winning games.
All I know is I'm not drafting Porter in the fantasy this year because he got, I think, 17 turnovers a game last season.
That's a lot of turnovers.
Wasn't good.
Okay, who's next?
Pacers added Tice, and they lost Brogdon, Rubio, TJ Warren.
And the Pacers are going to be horrible. 23 wins. Jay, how can the Pacers be over under 23 wins when they have your man crush, Tyrese Halliburton?
I mean, they only have 2 other good players, and they're trying to trade both of them.
So I don't understand this. It was reported that they offered to the Lakers Buddy Hield and Miles Turner for basically, I think Westbrook was included for salary. But then like 2 first-round picks from the Lakers, which are a bunch of years from now, probably 27 and 29 picks.
Yeah.
That was off, and the Lakers said no. How in God's name did the Lakers say no to that?
I don't understand. Like, you have probably, I've said this 5 years in a row, probably LeBron's last really good year, and you have a chance to add 2 very good pieces, players who are better than what's on your current roster, and you say no for picks like 6 years down the road?
Right. They're easily the 3rd and 4th best players in your roster. Your only chance of competing for a title this year is getting those 2 players, because there's nothing else coming along. You don't have exactly these aren't the most amazing draft picks in the world. Because they're so far out. Like, why do you have LeBron here if you don't want to win?
It seemed like a really weird, like why would you balk at that? It seems very strange to me.
Really, you're like the Lakers. How many more years does LeBron have? You have to assume going forward that LeBron always has 1 more year at most.
Anyway, if 2 picks, one of them being 7 years down the road is what it takes, somebody's going to do that deal. So Turner and Hield are going to be gone. Pacers are going to stink.
Also, when your team is begging other teams to take your some of your best players, you're all in for the tank. You're going to be terrible. Pacers. At some point, the Pacers were supposed to be good. They trade everyone else away, and they're kind of garbage. But they had Tyrese Halliburton, who's not as good as Jalen Brunson. So suck it, Jay.
Clippers added Wall and lost Hartenstein. They're going to suck because they lost Hartenstein.
That was kind of a big. Hartenstein looked kind of awesome for the Knicks. He does all the little things. I'm so excited to see more of Hartenstein. And the Clippers, who were the main additions to this team?
No, that was it. It was John Wall and the 43rd draft pick. That's it.
No, there's someone you're missing, Jay. You are missing Kawhi Leonard is supposed to play for this team.
Oh, well, I mean, great.
He's an addition. He didn't play last year.
True. I mean, I guess you could say Paul George, too.
And Paul George really didn't play much last year either. So there are 2 additions, or 2 of the 2 guys who are arguably top 10 in the league, or at least top 15 in the league as far as players. I mean, that's 2 pretty good additions.
I'm sure they have a really good track record. I'm sure last year was a fluke, and they'll be healthy all season. Yeah,
so they're probably going to be injured. Also, Kawhi, it's also I don't even know what happens to Kawhi. He missed a lot of games.
His healthy season, he missed 20-something games because he wouldn't play back-to-backs and on weekends and alternate Wednesdays and when he had a hangout.
It's raining out. We're playing indoors. I'm not playing when it's raining out. I don't want to slip. It's indoors, Kawhi. I want to be traded.
I don't do inclement weather.
Uh,
Lakers.
yeah, I don't think they're that good. Lakers, you're going to suck because your team doesn't want to even make the most minor trade to make your team better.
Somehow the Lakers sucked last year and lost like all their depth. They lost Carmelo, Ariza, Augustine, Bazemore, Avery Bradley, Wayne Ellington, Dwight Howard. Like they lost Malik Monk.
The
Um,
Lakers are 45 wins. How are they over under 45 wins? I
that's
understand
just.
LeBron and Anthony Davis are very good at basketball, but come on.
I mean, they added Beverly, Toscano Anderson, Schroeder, Thomas Bryant.
I mean, that's not, I mean, Schroeder's pretty good, but I mean, how hard is LeBron going to try when he knows the team doesn't give a shit about the season?
45 is way,
Way too high.
way too high. They're gonna.
You have Russell Westbrook who'll be jacking up shots. LeBron's gonna be like, this is just goddamn ridiculous. This is what I have to go out to. Like, how much effort is LeBron gonna really give when he realizes Anthony Davis can only play a third of the games? Russell Westbrook wants to take 50% of all shots on the court. And the front office is like, we have no interest in improving this roster. LeBron, go sell tickets, and we're just gonna do a retirement tour for you.
Here's my prediction: LeBron goes all out until he breaks Kareem's scoring record, and then he shuts it down if they're not good.
I think that supposedly he wants like Bronny to play with him, so
Mhm.
like to play long enough that the Lakers could take Bronny. Um, I really feel like LeBron's like, I really like living here, but I can't stand being on this team.
Yeah.
He
Okay.
at least got a title, but he should move on.
Memphis Grizzlies. They added Danny Green, and they
Yeah.
lost D'Anthony Melton and Kyle Anderson.
Okay. Well, the Memphis Grizzlies are it's just bullshit because they just copied the Knicks idea of having a lot of depth. I don't know why they had to copy the Knicks. By the way, Memphis they're slated to win 48 games, according to the Vegas odds.
Mm-hmm.
Why is this team going to suck, Jay?
Because last year was a fluke.
Yeah,
Everyone played over their
Ja's
heads.
Ja is awesome, but yeah, everyone played above. Like, guys are going to come back to earth. As much
Think
as you
Atlanta
like,
from 2 years ago. They're Atlanta from 2 years ago.
Desmond Bain was awesome last year. When he shoots 33% this year from three, you're gonna be like, oh, he doesn't look quite as good.
Yeah.
Like everything just worked perfectly for them last year. Not so much this year.
I've never
They're
seen
gonna
a
be
team have a perfect storm back-to-back seasons. That's just not going to happen.
Yeah, it's one of those things where like there's just so like it just doesn't work out. And Jaren Jackson, doesn't he already have some injury issues? Or
He
am I
always
just like,
does.
or am I reading tomorrow's paper?
Miami Heat.
Ooh,
They added
Miami.
nobody, and they lost Markieff Morris and PJ Tucker.
They did add someone. Actually, you're forgetting. They added an even older version of Kyle Lowry.
And an even older version of Butler. And
Yes,
Bam looked like garbage in the playoffs last year, too.
they added a guy that looks like Victor Oladipo, doesn't play like him.
Their second highest paid player was unplayable in the playoffs.
Yes, but they did go all in on giving a huge contract to Tyler Hero, who they still don't think can start NBA games.
So their second and third highest paid players, one of them can't start and the other one can't even play.
Yes, exactly. But they built a lot of their team around guys they like found that like they somehow got guys like Gabe Vincent off of like the out of the G League to play well. I don't know if that like some of those guys are gonna come back down to earth also. But yeah, you're going all in on guy like you have a bunch of guys on the bench who are making a lot of money. Jimmy Butler is gonna get tired of your team. They're not gonna be that good this year.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see downhill real fast for this roster, this old aging roster. Does Kyle Lowry Kyle Lowry's going to be injured most of the season, right, Jay?
Yeah, absolutely.
Guaranteed. By the way, the over under for Miami is 48 wins. Plus, I'm sure there'll be a tropical storm that'll take out half of Miami. So, anyway, is that too negative? Is that too dark?
A little bit. Bucks added Ingles, so that's good. Get him right after he completely fell off a cliff.
Which team?
The Bucks.
Oh, the Bucks. Oh, okay. Yes.
They added Ingles. They lost Alex Antetokounmpo, who I didn't even know there was another brother.
How many are there?
And they're all good enough to like get on an NBA roster. They
It
didn't really
helps.
lose
It
anyone.
helps when one of your brothers is pretty darn good at basketball.
Yeah. He's just
Uh,
getting everybody paid.
they got they still have Bobby Porter's magic. They still got Brooke Lopez. They got Milton, who's back and healthy. Why are they going to suck, Jay?
All their key players are over 30, except Giannis, and they got lucky. They got lucky with health. Um, their front court is Brooke Lopez. Like he looked like he just didn't recover from his injuries, and I think that's the new Brooke Lopez.
I mean, your bench is like Grayson Allen. It's okay. George Hill, who I can't. How old is George Hill? What are you going to say? Like, if I said 32 over on, sorry, if I said 34 over under for George Hill,
I was gonna say exactly 34.
I'm going to say he's 36 or 37.
36.
He's 36.
Yep.
Well, look at you being faster than me on Google. Um. Anyway, their depth is pretty bad at
They
this
have
point.
no bench. They have absolutely no bench.
They have no bench. I guess we're saying a lot of the same things about different teams. Ingles kind of sucks now. Everything's about can the Greek Freak deliver? And the answer is no. He peaked already when we win the title, and now he is not going to be as good. And the league will finish out. The league will stop letting him go like run backwards and run forward to the basket.
Yeah.
The league will figure that out this year. When you know how he backs up and then runs towards the basket.
Yeah.
There's got to be a way to figure that out.
They'll just call offensive fouls, and then it's over.
Yeah. Maybe they'll
He
be like,
does lower his
hey, we're
shoulder
not
a
going to
lot.
give you
It's not allowed.
we're not going to give you a foul on every goddamn play to the basket. We're going to stop calling ridiculous star fouls for you.
Yeah.
Okay, who we got next?
Timberwolves. They added Kyle Anderson, Bryn Forbes, Austin Rivers, and Rudy Gobert. And they lost Malik Beasley, Beverly, Okogie, Vanderbilt, Greg Monroe.
Hey, Jazz. You guys are always really good during the regular season, but then the playoffs you kind of suck. Who's that guy you guys can't keep on the court, on the floor in the playoffs? The guy he plays great defense, but he can't seem to get on the court. You guys think he sucks that much in the playoffs? Anyway, we'll give you all the draft picks we'll ever have to get him.
Yeah, well, we want to emulate you and peak in the regular season.
Yes, we really want. Gobert is just so awesome in the playoffs that we need more Gobert for our playoff run.
So we want to take the guy who everyone figured out in the playoffs, but have the version of him that's over 30 and peaked like 2 years ago.
Right, but we want to make sure we have no draft capital left when we get him.
We want no backup plan. We don't want to be able to make a backup plan.
We actually feel that it was worth keeping D'Angelo Russell on the roster. We got something out of him last year, and we didn't trade him thereafter. We're this dumb.
Yeah, exactly.
But we got Anthony Edwards. He looks kind of awesome. By the way, Karl Anthony Towns was really sick and lost like 30 pounds. Did you hear about this?
No, I didn't.
He had some kind of virus, just not COVID, but he lost a bunch of weight.
Oh wow.
Yeah. That's just But anyway, how is Karl Anthony? I guess in the positive, Karl Anthony Towns is like, now I don't even have to pretend to play defense.
So we have the Pelicans.
The New Orleans Pelicans. I'm trying to think of what could go wrong for them. Is there anyone that's an injury risk on that team?
So the Pelicans added nobody and they lost nobody. They said, this is a championship roster. We're making no moves.
By the way, the Bucks were 52 wins, second highest to the Celtics. Who are we just making fun of just now? I'm losing my mind.
The Pelicans?
No, before the Pelicans.
Oh, the Timberwolves.
Oh, T-Wolves were 48, and the Pelicans are 44. I'm not sure if I'm adding much to these by saying this.
Probably.
But they also did add, in theory, Zion.
Yeah, in theory.
In theory, he played. He's ready. he said he is in the best shape of his life,
Mhm.
which means he is one of every player in the NBA who claims to be in the best shape of their lives this season.
Every single player in the NBA said it this year.
It's amazing. 100% of the time, it's going to happen. Every year, it seems to happen. I mean, it's unbelievable how they're in the best shape of their career every year. Um, do you should we make fun of Zion for the fact that he'll miss most of the season?
No, I think we could just make fun of the fact that they stood pat on like an eighth seed.
I mean, in theory, they added Zion Williams, so that helps. By the way, Zion is he good at defense? Because he doesn't look like he was good in defense when he played a couple of years back.
He looked like mediocre. He's one of those guys like that gets blocks, but like nothing
Yeah.
else. So you look at the box score and you're like, oh yeah, he's good on defense, but like in reality, he's not.
In reality, he doesn't keep up with guys.
Right.
So yeah, he doesn't like. Yeah. Also,
Not a great
I
rebounder either.
I mean, they had a pretty good year last year overall, and I'm sure their logic is like, well, Zion Williams is coming back. We'll be fine for both games he plays.
Mm-hmm.
But they got CJ McCullough. I mean, they have an interesting roster. They're going to be mediocre, and they're going to continue to be mediocre. Eighth seed though, they have a shot at the eighth seed.
Yeah. Good luck.
It's like winning a title. By the way, they have Larry Nance Jr. This is what I was going to say to you. Does Obi at all remind you of Larry Nance Jr.? Someone says this on Twitter, and I was like, oh, yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, a little bit.
Hopefully he has a better career.
I hope so.
I really hope so.
OKC added a bunch of bench guys and lost a bunch of bench guys. Nothing of note.
OKC, they also they added and lost Holmgren, one of the top picks in the draft.
Yeah. So they're basically tanking again. So they're gonna stink.
Hey Shea Gilchrist, we have no interest in winning ever. We're gonna keep poking you until you demand a trade.
Okay, so Orlando Magic, they added nobody. I mean,
No, they had
the first overall draft. I'm not doing draft picks, so I was just they had the
kind of an interesting guy to I mean is Paolo Boat. What's his name again? Last name?
Banchero.
Banchero. He's supposed to be awesome, but rookies are never all that amazing, or rarely that amazing. They brought back Mo Bamba because the rest of the league didn't want him. Markelle Fultz may or may not be healthy this year.
Mo Bamba was like kind of campaigning to be on the Knicks.
Yeah, but the Knicks were like, Mitch, I mean, I'm not sure we want to pay you, but if Mo's the only, if Mo Bamba's the alternative, then here's your money.
Yeah, yeah.
They got a bunch of interesting players. They got the Wagners, Franz and Moritz. They're both pretty good. Cole Anthony is a solid point guard if you don't want to win games. What else they got on that team?
Orlando's always garbage, so
they got Jonathan Isaac in part of the. We'll always have a promising center that can't get on the court.
Right. Or a
power
guy who
forward,
can
whatever.
get on the court and then demands a trade.
Yes. That's the dream in Orlando. You get good enough that you can get off the team.
Right.
I want to one day be good enough in this team that I can get the hell out of the city.
All right. We're almost done. Philly. They added Harold, Tucker, D'Anthony Melton, and they lost DeAndre Jordan, Danny Green, Paul Millsap.
They added basically all the greatest knowledge of all the strip clubs in the NBA.
I mean,
or around NBA cities, that is.
You can always count on Harden to perform in the playoffs, right? So I don't even know where to go from here.
I'm gonna say Philly really screwed. Like Philly was at the top. They're like, I guess we have to now that we trade for him. I guess we have to kind of keep him.
Mm-hmm.
But Harden's just going to get worse and worse, and it's going to be one of the more dramatic fall-offs.
You're not going to believe this, but Harden said he's in the best shape of his life.
No way! That is shocking. Joel Embiid may or may not be healthy, but I think James Harden, like Kyrie Irving, have some kind of pact with the devil where they have to burn down the teams they're on.
It's the Kardashian-Jenner curse.
Yeah.
It's undefeated.
By the way, Tobias Harris must feel really great being on that team when all they want to do is trade him.
For like 5 straight years. And he's not even a bad player. I don't understand.
Every fan only mentions his name in terms of like, well, what can we get for him?
I know the fans want to get rid of him. The front office is trying to trade him. Like he's not a bad player. It's crazy to me.
Tyrese Maxey will probably not be. He's not going to be as good as IQ this year.
He's not.
What else we got?
Speaking of the Kardashian Jenner curse, we have the Phoenix Suns.
Ooh, who just lost the Australian national team. Remember the time the Phoenix Suns made the finals and everyone was like, they're here to stay. No, they're not.
So they lost Aaron Holiday, Frank Kaminsky, JaVale McGee, and they added Damian Lee and Josh Okogie.
And Chris Paul. How old is Chris Paul now, Jay?
What, 37?
That sounds about right. He is 30. He's going to turn 38 this season.
So, they have like no backup. Like their backup is Elfrid
Campaign. Oh, Elfrid Payton. No, it's Campaign then Elfrid Payton. But yeah,
either one of those. Like the team is absolute trash when Chris Paul doesn't play. Even within games, when Chris Paul goes to the bench, they're absolute trash. So they're not going to do anything.
Yeah. Also, guys, at some point, your 37 turning 38-year-old point guard is going to just Father Time is going to beat him down a little bit.
Also, there's some weird chemistry thing going on with DeAndre Ayton, who seemed like he really didn't want Phoenix to match his offer, and they matched, and now he just looks pissed. So
yeah, I'm not sure why he wanted to not be on the team, but he does not want to be on this team anymore.
He doesn't want to be part of that Jenner curse. I'm telling you.
Devin Booker is going to go back to the role we really know him as. We prefer him as the guy who gets lots of points on a garbage team.
Yep.
He's going down.
I think we got 4 more. Portland Trailblazers, they added Gary Payton and Jeremy Grant, and they lost Bledsoe, Ingles, not much else. Bunch of end of the bench guys.
I mean, so speaking of Father Time beating players down, I don't know if Dame gets better.
No.
Dame came off the worst, injured and the worst season of his career. He's going downhill. I don't know why they're banking on him getting better.
Oh, so Andrew's saying it wasn't the Australian national team. It was just an NBL team. So it wasn't even like their all-star team.
Oh, it was just a team from the league?
It was just a team in Australia.
Holy crap.
So, yeah.
Andrew, can we pretend it was also the worst team in the Australian league? That's really funny. But anyway, Portland, Anthony Simons is an emerging young star. He's going to be pretty good. They got Gary Payton III, who was awesome on defense for Golden State, but he's going to be hard to play on a team that needs offense.
It's only the second. You're skipping a generation.
Oh, whatever. Maybe I have blurry eyes. Maybe I'm tired. I don't know. What the hell, Jay? Anyway, they got Josh Hart, who I've always really liked. They got Jeremy Grant, who do you think Jeremy Grant, like, he left Denver because he's like, I want a bigger role on the team.
Mm-hmm.
He became the man in Detroit. Detroit's like, you're not so great as the man. We're going to move you. Because we want to get better, so we want to move you. Now he's back to being a role player.
Right.
I don't think he's going to be happy as a role player.
Nope. So they're going to have chemistry issues, and they're just not that good. They have just enough to they're in like NBA purgatory.
Yeah, I think Dame is following the career trajectory of an ex-Knick that we thought would be a good point guard for us last year, Kemba.
Sorry, back to that Australian team. They came in 7th out of 10 teams last season with a 10-18 record.
These are all real facts. Thank you, our Australian fan base. We really appreciate that. That's hilarious. Phoenix is going to suck.
Sacramento.
But are we moving on to Sacramento?
Yeah, Sacramento. They're Sacramento.
Okay.
Do we even have to do like? Sacramento's always terrible. They didn't do anything to make them not terrible.
They haven't been good since Mike Bibby was a good player, he was really good. Those teams were awesome, but it's been a long time. Their owner got banned from the NBA?
I thought that was Phoenix, wasn't it?
Oh, Phoenix. Sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, let's go back to that. Phoenix. Sorry. I think the Clippers have a bad owner also, but Phoenix We forgot to say they lost their owner.
Yeah, yeah,
That's a weird one.
yeah.
Um, so what do they have? The Clippers also got Keegan Murray, who's supposed to be pretty good in the draft.
The Kings.
They got
It's
Kings.
getting late,
Sorry,
folks. It's getting late. We
getting
gotta.
late. They still got Sabonis, who was always overrated. They got De'Aaron Fox. They got Monk, who's an interesting guy. What do they got in this team? They got Rashawn Holmes, which I'd like to. If the Knicks hadn't gotten, if the Knicks had not gotten Hart, Holmes would be a guy I would have liked to gotten.
Yeah.
I don't know. What is there much to say about this team?
No, they're like perfectly mediocre.
Right. They're one of these teams that proves that tanking doesn't work because they're just always bad. Like we're always gonna pick top 5, top 10, and always manage to suck.
I mean, who they picked instead of Luca?
Yeah.
What was his face? He's on Detroit now. Marvin Bagley.
Yeah, Marvin Bagley. That was a.
That's the
they
thing,
must
like,
be.
tanking.
It's not just missing a Luca. I mean, you could have just taken Trey, and that much I bashed Trey, you still wouldn't feel so bad about it. That was just a.
You could have taken any of the next like 6 guys drafted in that draft. Honestly, like it was just a bad pick.
That was a really, really bad pick. Anyway, I think Keegan Murray is going to be actually pretty good this season. They got Davion Mitchell's pretty good. I think they're going to be one of these teams where you're like, oh, there's a lot of decent players. Not sure why they're 20 games under 500, but that's the story.
Right. Speaking of 20 games under 500, the San Antonio Spurs.
The Spurs, I don't know. Do you think they were tanking last year? Because I think they're 100% tanking this year.
I don't think they were taking last year, but they seem to have traded almost all their good players this year. So, yeah, they're in tank mode. They're going to be absolutely terrible.
They had the lowest under over at 22 wins. They're going to be garbage.
Yeah.
Is there anything on that roster that's worthwhile?
No. So
They got Dougie McDermott, who sharpshooter extraordinaire. They got Keldon Johnson, Josh Richardson, They got Devin Vassell, who was a top 10 pick, who's What do they got in that team?
they got one. Their center is like the one guy that I wouldn't mind. But
Which one? Pirtle?
yeah.
Yeah, he's not bad. I mean, they're one of these teams that you're like, if we just swap them out for the best G League team, would we really notice in terms of wins?
Right.
They're going to be real bad.
Yeah.
Is this last team or is there one more to go?
There is 3 more, believe it or not.
We got to go real fast, Jay.
Yeah. The Raptors, who didn't really add anybody and didn't really lose anybody of note.
Yes, the Raptors, they are supposed to be pretty good coming up. A lot of people think they're going to get better this year. OG's going to keep getting better. They got Van Fleet, who I wanted a couple of years back. They got Pascal Siakam, who was also obviously very good at basketball. Who's the guy from last year they got? The guy who's kind of awesome.
Was it Suggs?
Oh, Scotty Barnes.
Barnes, right.
Yeah, he's kind of awesome. So why is this team going to suck, Jay?
They're in NBA purgatory. They're not good enough to scare anybody. Nobody's scared of them. But they're not bad enough or have enough flexibility to get any better. So they're just meh.
Yeah, purgatory. I don't trust their. They're a fine team. They're gonna win 40 games. Congrats on your 40 wins, maybe 42 wins. You're not going anywhere. Scotty Barnes is pretty awesome. They're gonna have injury issues also. Yeah, they're gonna have problems. I don't know. They're also Canadians, so fuck them. And if we have Canadian listeners, I was kidding.
Jazz, they're in full tank mode, so I don't know.
You think?
We don't even have to cover that. They're going to be terrible. And the last one is the Wizards.
They did get Colin Sexton, so he's going to have fun on that team.
Yeah.
Why are the Wizards going to suck? Is there anyone on that team that we kind of hate as Knicks fans? Are you blanking, Jay?
I am blanking.
Okay. I'll give you a hint, Jay. Instead of working on his NBA game, he prefers to work on his NBA workout videos. Him flexing.
Porzingis. Yeah.
Yes, come on. Porzingis will be injured half the season, and the other half the season you'll be wondering why he's not playing defense.
Yeah.
He'll put up some points. Bradley Beal is also doing a Dame and just going to get these small guards. Actually, Beal's not that small, but he's still small. He's going to keep getting worse. He had also a bad year that last year. Um, they're a mediocre team. They got their biggest claim to fame, and you didn't mention this, Jay, is they got Taj Gibson. I love Taj. I appreciate Taj. Taj will get a lot of minutes when Porzingis is injured.
So there you go. You've heard why every other team in the league sucks, and the conclusion is Knicks are winning the championship.
Pretty much guaranteed the Knicks are going to win the title. I hope you enjoy. If you're a fan of another team, I'm sorry for you. If you're a Knicks fan, sky's the limit.
I mean, we just logically proved.
We proved that every team is worse than the Knicks. Why are the Knicks better? Because everyone else is worse. Knicks crushed the Pistons tonight. Not everyone can do that. Some teams lose to like bad teams from Australia. So,
all right. So, thanks for joining. I've got a bunch of people in the chat. Thanks for joining in the chat room. Saturday, I will be doing the live Fantasy League draft around 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can check us out live, youtube.com/TITOWAJ, or twitch.tv/crumpledbacon. That's crumpled with a P. And you can email us, nyknickspodcast@gmail.com, and we are nyknickspodcast on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and Patreon.
and if you want to send us a postcard, Jay, give your address.
Sure. My address is...
My love. Goodbye, everybody. Goodbye. It's all over. Goodbye. It's time to go. This is the end. Say goodbye. You better go away. I'm gonna leave you. It's the end. Goodbye. Goodbye. Just leave me alone. Feels so good to say goodbye. I'm sick and tired and I'm saying goodbye. Goodbye, girl. Goodbye, 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 everybody.
Well, it took 2 days, but we got this episode recorded. Thank you, Optimum.
Nice. By the way, I just saw an Optimum. I was watching Nick game before. There's an Optimum commercial, and they're like 99% reliable. I was like, I guess Jay's the 1%. Jay, you finally made the 1%.
I'm a 1%er.
Cool. That was fun.
Yeah, that was good.